Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's session for Microsoft Word. Today we're going to quickly go through Microsoft Word and show you a few editing tricks and things that you need to be able to use, especially when doing your assignments at UNISA. So I'll be working on a file that I already have. Okay, this was a file that was used previously in the EUP assignment, so it's directly from the EUP assignments that I'm doing this. As we go along, make sure if you want to raise your hand to ask a question, please do so. I will try and answer as much as I can when I see hands going up. All right, going to what we're doing. All right. Right, so I've got a basic file here. You'll see this is a straightforward file. There's no editing, nothing done in this file. It's just a short little file. I'll just make it a bit smaller so you can see the entire file. That's what the entire file looks like. So it's not even a full page document, but we're going to edit this and you'll see what the changes will look like at the end. All right, I'm just going to make my screen bigger so that everybody can see again. Hopefully you can all see this. All right. So when we're working in Word, Word is mostly used for when you're doing documents, right? So word processing. So this is where you want to type in a bunch of information, all right? So typical letter or assignment or whatever the case might be that you want to do, all right? So on my screen, hopefully you can all see this on the top, right on top of my document, you'll see there's numbers there going from 1 all the way to 18. And also on the side, there's a ruler going down on the side, okay? This is your margins of your documents, all right? So the margins of the documents basically set out to show where your words must start on the file, where they must end on the particular file, all right? So you'll see on the side here as well, there's a part there where there's nothing in there. So this is your margin area on your left-hand side. Right-hand side, you also get a margin on top and also a margin at the bottom. So the margin basically indicates to the computer how big your page should be when you're typing on your documents, all right? Now you can change these margins individually or you can set them to presets that's built into Microsoft Word itself. Okay, so I'm first going to start by just showing you how to edit your margins, all right? Because this is a question that they do like to ask in the questions we're doing assignments as well. All right, so what you do, if you want to change your margins in your documents, you're going to go to your menus on top. So on top you get your menus, File, Home, Insert, Design, Layout, and so on. We're going to go to Layout. Under the Layout menu, you'll get all your different icons, your ribbon, all right, of all the icons. There you can also change the orientation. So this is where you want your page to be upright like it is now, or do you want it to be sideways like when you're doing a poster or something in that case? Well, this is called your orientation. We're going to go to our margins. So on the margins key, here's a few built-in margins that Microsoft has put in. These are the ones that people use most often. That's why they've put them in there, all right? But if you get a sum, they tell you to edit a specific margin. You're going to go to the bottom here where it says custom margins. So I'm going to click on custom margins. You'll get your dialog box that comes up, all right? Remember, this is called your dialog box, the little menu that pops up that you can move around. And here's all of your margins. You get your top, bottom, left, and right margin, all right? At this stage, you can see they're set to 1.27 centimeters. We're going to change that. We're going to change it to 2.5 centimeters. Now to do this, you've got a few options. You can either use your up and down arrows that you've got on the side of each one here, all right? So you can see as I click on it, it will automatically go up by 0.1 centimeter, all right? So you can go up and down until you get the right measurement you wanted. Or you could have simply, once you're in the setting that you want to change, you can highlight everything that's in there and simply type in 2.5, the size that you want. You don't have to type in centimeters because the computer's already set to centimeters in my instance, so it will automatically change it to centimeters for me. All right, so I'm going to do the same for my left margin as well. There's my left. I'm going to change that to 2.5 as well. I'm also going to change my right margin to 2.5 centimeters. All right, so as you can see, all my margins now been set to 2.5 centimeters. All right, once I did all of that, I can just click on OK. Now I can see once I did that, the margin area here on the side, remember I showed you on the side, this is the parts where your words won't go. So on this left, right, top and bottom, your margin is now changed to 2.5. You can see it on your ruler on top as well when you're working on the document, what your margin is set to. So now my margin is set to 2.5 centimeters. Now, another thing that you can change in your document as well is when you usually type in Word, the space in between your lines, all right? In between each sentence, there is a space, all right? I'm just going to highlight this portion, you can see. So in between each sentence, there is a space. By default, you have to have a space in between your lines, all right? Otherwise, your text will go over each other, all right? You don't want that to happen. This is called your line spacing. You can actually change your line spacing in your document as well to show if you want a bigger space in between your sentences or a little more space if you don't want them at all even as well. All right. So I want to change the line spacing of my entire documents. Now to do this, you can either use the one thing that most people do is by going to the top, holding your mouse button, then just keep dragging all the way down to highlight everything that you want to highlight. All right. So that's one way you can highlight your entire document as well. There is a few shortcuts you can do to get this as well. All right. The shortcut you can do if you want to highlight everything in your document is by using the shortcut keys, which is your control button. So that's a control button in the bottom left of your keyboard and the letter A. All right. So A for all. So all you do, you're holding your control button, press the letter A, and that highlights your entire document. All right. So Control A is the shortcut if you want to highlight everything in your document. This will work for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint as well. So once again, I'm just going to show you. You can click anywhere in your document, hold in the Control button, press A, and that highlights everything for you. All right. So that's how you can highlight your entire document. Other way you can do this as well, you can highlight from your margin area on the side. All right. So you can see here's my mouse in the left hand side of my screen where it's now the arrow. All right. So all you have to do, you can simply go next to any line you want to highlight as well. If you want to highlight just a particular line as well, you go next to that particular set. So that line, you just click once and that highlights the entire line for you. So you just click once to highlight a single line. All right. So that's how you can highlight from the side as well. If you want to highlight the entire paragraph, you can do this from your margin area as well. So you'll go next to your paragraph that you want to highlight. Anywhere next to the paragraph, you're going to hold your mouse and you're going to double click. So click, that highlights the paragraph. So this makes highlighting much easier for you and much faster as well. Okay, it's a bit more accurate as well. You can also highlight your entire document from the side in your margin area as well. So you go anywhere into your margin and you're going to click 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times on my mouse that I click, and that highlights the entire document as well. All right. So now that I've got my entire document highlighted, I now want to change the space in between the lines, all right, in between each sentence. So this is now your line spacing. To change your line spacing, you're going to go to your home menu on top, all right. So there's my home menu. On home menu, you're going to go to where it says paragraph. Just on top of paragraph, you get that icon there, all right. I'm just moving my mouse around it so you can see it, all right. It has those lines and an arrow pointing upwards and downwards. If you hold your mouse still there as well, it will tell you line and paragraph spacing. So what you can do, you're going to click on that arrow next to that, all right? And there's your line spacing. You get a line spacing of 1, 1.15, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. If you wanted other options, you could have gone to more line spacing options, all right? But we're just going to choose one of the built-in features. Now, if you hold your mouse over, you can actually see on the document how the space in between each line changes to make it big or small as I move up and down. All right. So you can see how the line spacing will change. I'm just going to change this to 1.15 because I don't want to make it too big. It will become a bit difficult for you guys to see what I'm doing on the page if I make my spaces too big. All right. So now I've changed my line spacing. Coming back to my document while I still have it all highlighted as well. You can actually also change how much space you have in between each paragraph as well. All right. So remember, your paragraph is each one there. So there's a paragraph. There is a paragraph as well. There's another paragraph. All right. So you can change how much space you have in between your paragraphs as well. Now your paragraph spacing works in measurements of 6 points. All right. So by default, it's 0. Then you can change it to either 6, 12, 18, and so on, working up in steps of 6. You can actually change how much space you have before each paragraph and how much space you have after each paragraph. Right, so to do this, on my home menu once again, where it says paragraph. Right next paragraph in the corner there, you get that little drop down icon there, right? If I hold my mouse there as well, you'll see that pops up where it says paragraph spacing, right? So this is where you can actually get the full menu for all the paragraph options that you want to do. So I'm going to click on that, right? There's my dialog box coming up with all the options, all right? Guys, please make sure that you keep your mics muted, all right? Otherwise, we hear everybody that's in the background. All right, so the line spacing, at the bottom, you can see there's spacing. This is now for your paragraph spacing. So you get before each paragraph and after each paragraph. I'm just going to change the after spacing to 6 points, all right? You'll see there's after space, now change to 6 points, the one highlighted in blue there. Once I did all of that, I can simply click on OK. Now I can see there's bigger space after each paragraph as well. Okay, so that's now your paragraph spacing. Now it doesn't look like too much difference that you made on your documents, all right? So we've just changed the margins and the line spacing, paragraph spacing. Now if you remember when we start, this document wasn't even a full page, it was only about 3/4 of a page. If you look at this document now, it's even gone over onto a second page. That's how much space you've actually added into your documents already. So it does make quite a bit of a difference when you're working in your documents. All right, so that was just for your margins and changing the spacing in your documents itself. All right. Now, right on top here, I've got my heading that says stress management. Then it says the good, the bad, and the useful. Then I've got another sentence that says a seminar provided by Partners of Healthy Living. So what you can see from my headings here on top, they're in the middle of my page, all right? So they're in the middle of my document, so it stands out as heading in the middle. This is now coming to your alignment that you can do in Word. So in Word, you get 4 different alignments. You get left align, right align, center align, and justification. Right, to get your alignments, it's on your home menu, all right, on home where it says paragraph once again, there's your 4 alignments there. So I'll hold it there, you can see there's align left, center align, align right, and justify. All right, so this is now center, there's also center. This sentence should also be part of them, so I want to make the center line as well. So all you have to do if you want to change your alignment, you simply click anywhere in the sentence or the paragraph. You don't have to highlight it, all right? So you just click on it, you go to the alignment you want. I want to make it center line, so I simply click on center line. That puts it nice in the middle of your document as well. All right, coming back to my heading as well. I want to change my heading that it stands out a bit more as a heading itself, all right? So what most people, if you want to get it as a heading, like you can see they made the font bigger. So there's your font size, all right? That's your font type. Then you can make it bold, italic, or underline. But there is other ways you can make your text stand out a bit easier as well, all right? And this is a question that I find in the assignments as well quite regularly, is they'll ask you to change the text effect, all right? So text effect. This comes to the option where you can change your text effect into orthography. To get this on your home menu, once again, where you get font, on top of font, you get that blue A there, all right? You'll see if I hold my cursor there, it says text effect into orthography, all right? So this is where you can actually change your text as well. Now, if I just click on the drop down there, they get different options. Now, when you're doing assignments, they will actually tell you use option 2, option 5, option whatever as well, all right? So you can see as you hold it over them as well, what that option name is. All right, so this way you can change all of your words. You'll see as I move over it as well on the background, the heading also changed so you can see what it looks like. All right, so I'm simply going to choose anyone there. All right, so you can see how this will change your headings and your text. All right, so this makes it nice and arty as well, so it's not the normal text that you just see. All right, okay, so that was your text effect. Now, moving a bit down into my document, I'm just going to move a bit down so you can see where I'm going. All right. If you look at all of my headings here, all right, external sources, here's a sentence that says although chronic stress. I'm just going to highlight so you can see it. All right. So I'm talking about this paragraph here. All right. Now I want to insert a picture into my document. All right. Now there's a few things that happens when you insert pictures that might go wrong. When you insert a picture, you might lose some of your word. All right, some of your text. This is because if you have anything highlighted, as soon as you insert a picture and you have anything highlighted, it will delete what you have highlighted and replace it with the picture that you're inserting. So it's important that you don't have anything highlighted when you're inserting a picture, all right? Otherwise the picture will replace whatever is highlighted, so it automatically deletes it. So another thing as well, you must make sure you click where you want this picture to be inserted. For example, I just click in the middle of a word there, right? I just clicked in the middle of that word. If I say insert picture now, it will insert it in the middle of that word and split that whole word apart, which will cause spelling problems and sentences being broken apart. So always make sure you click on the right place before you just insert a picture. All right. So I want to insert my picture in the beginning of that sentence. So I'm just going to click there in the front of that A. All right. I've clicked there. You can see my cursor is flashing there. All right. In front of the although. All right. So I'm there now just to show you. I'm just going to highlight so you can see where I'm working. So that's where I'm working right now. So I want to insert my picture. Now to insert the picture is quite easy as well. All right. Once you've clicked where you want it, you're going to go to your insert menu. On the insert menu, click on pictures. Once you've clicked on pictures, it will by default take you to where your pictures were saved originally. If you want another destination, you can just choose where you saved your pictures, whether it was on desktop, documents, downloads, wherever you have this picture allocated. Mine is just on the picture folder, so I'm just going to click on the picture. Now to insert the picture, you can simply click on it. You'll see an highlighted, then you can click on insert, or you can just double click as well. All right, so you can just double click there and it inserts the picture for you. All right, now once I've inserted this picture, you can see this picture has now gone over to my second page. That is because this picture was too big for the space that you had left on page 1 where you inserted your picture. Now this is where you're going to start editing your picture. All right, now to edit your picture, you simply have to make sure you click on your picture so that it has this border around. You'll see the picture now has this border around with all these little dots on the corners and in the middle. All right, this way you know you're working in your picture. Another thing as well, as soon as you click on any picture or shape, anything that's graphical, anything that's not words anymore, you'll get a new menu that comes up here on top. You'll see there on top, right there I've got a format menu. On top it says picture tools and formats. That menu will only be there once you're working on a picture or anything graphical. If I click away from my picture, for example, you can see that format menu goes away. It's not there anymore. As soon as I click back on the picture, the format menu comes back. So make sure if you want to edit your picture that you first click on the picture so you can get your format menu. All right. So now once I've clicked on my picture itself, I want to make this smaller so it fits onto my page. All right, because this picture is too big for where I want it. So I want to change the picture size. So right on the right hand side of that format menu, there you can see you get your options. All right, so that's to change the height, all right, shape height and the width. All right, so you can change the height and the width. So you can either just also use your up and down arrows to get to the size you wanted, or you can simply click on there and type in the size you want. I'm just going to make this a size, let's say 7 centimeters. All right, and there's my picture now in my document on the first page, and it's now small according to the size that I made. All right. You'll see when you change your picture height or width, it automatically changes the other one as well. All right. That's just to make sure that the picture stays in the correct aspect ratio. All right. I don't know if you just make it the height small, it will be a very wide picture and it might look a bit odd. All right, so it will change it by default like this. There is options where you can actually set it to stay the original size that you want as well, but we're not going to go to that right now. Okay, so now I've got my picture in here as well. Now there's a few options that you can change in your picture as well. All right, let's say I want my picture now to have the text next to it. All right, because now I've got all this open space next to my picture, so this is wasting space. All right. You want your text to be right next to your picture so it fits in nicely like you'll see in a magazine or a newspaper, whatever the case might be, so it goes next to your picture. To do this, you actually have to change the setting on your picture. It has nothing to do with your words. All right. So once again, I'm going to click on my picture so I can get my format menu. Once I have my format menu in there, you'll see there's an option here on the right hand side. It says picture styles. There it says range. All right. At a range, get an option there where it says wrap text. All right, you also wrap text. Now I'm holding mouse, you'll see that menu came up there. All right, there's wrap text. I'm going to click on the drop down menu for wrap text. This now we can choose how you want your picture to display. Do you want it to be square, tight, through, top and bottom, behind text, in front of text? So this is also where you can choose a picture to be like a watermark on your document, to be in the background. they would have said behind text, and your picture will see, as you see on the screen, will go behind your text. So it becomes like a background effect, all right? But that's not what I want. I don't want my words to go over my document. I just want it to be around the picture, so that's square. So I'm going to choose the option square. You can choose square. Now I can actually see the words now go square around my picture, all right? So that's wrapping of text for your pictures, all right? Now going back to my picture, there's a whole bunch of options that you can apply to your picture as well. Some of the examples that they'll ask you when you're doing assignments, they'll ask you to change the picture style, all right? So I'm to show you how to change picture style. Once you've clicked on the picture, you've got your format menu. There's an option there where it says picture styles. If I click on the drop down there, you can see there's all your different picture styles that you want. So this way you can make your picture to be round with a border around it, or fading, or whatever the case is that you want it to be, all right? So they will tell you which option it is that you need to choose to get your picture the correct way you want it, okay? I'm just going to choose that option there. That now gives my picture a nice little reflection at the bottom, all right? You can also actually change the actual picture color, all right? So if you don't want it to be just like a normal photo, you can see this was just a photo that was taken of somebody. If you want it to look a bit more artistic, whatever the case might be, this is where you'll go now to your artistic effects, all right? So on that format menu, once again, right in front, you get an option that says adjust. There's an option there, folder there, you can see it says artistic effect. So this is here on the top left, all right, artistic effect. Click on artistic effect. This is where you can see all the options that you have. You can make it black and white. You can make it that it shows as icons, blurred screen, textured, whatever you want it, all right? So you can choose any option that you want if you're doing your own work. But if they give you some, they will tell you which one they want you to use, all right? So you can choose literally any option that you want from there to get the picture you wanted, all right? I'm just going to choose that option there to make it look like a black and white picture was drawn with a pencil, all right? So you can actually change your pictures to whatever you wanted using the artistic effects, all right? So that was now inserting a picture and playing around with your picture, doing this picture style, an artistic effect, and getting your text to go around your picture as well. All right. Now moving back up to my document a bit more. On top here, I've got 3 words. It says external, internal, and survival. I'm highlighting them there. All right, you can see. So those are just 3 words standing in the middle of my document, not making too much sense. But if you go to the sentence just before that, it says sources of stress can be divided into 3 categories. So this is actually the list of those 3 categories that they were talking about. Okay, so I want this to stand out as a list. This is now we're going to start using bullets to show it is an actual list. So to make anything a bulleted list, you simply highlight the words that you want bulleted. All right, on your home menu, once again, on home, right on top of home, you get font. Paragraph, on top of paragraph, the very first icon right on top, hold it there, shows you bullets, all right? Creates a bulleted list, all right? You can click on the drop down list next to that. You can see all the different bullets that you have, all right? When you're doing assignments as well, they will tell you which bullets you want. So they'll tell you use a solid round bullet, hollow round bullet, a square bullet, a diamond, an arrow, a right tick, whatever the case might be, you can just choose the one that they want you to use. I'm just going to use that one for example now, okay? Now you can see you actually get a bulleted list, all right? So it makes it bullets for you to stand out as a list. Sticking to bullets, the thing that goes partnered with bullets is numbering, all right? So if you want to number a certain list of items, you're going to use the numbers to do this. I'm just going to go here next to my picture, all right? Just move it up so you can all see there on top. So I'm here next to the picture in that open line, all right? Now it says there on top of that, I'm highlighting so you can see it says one successful approach to a 3-step cycle, all right? So you want to have those 3 steps in there. So instead of having now bullets, you can create numbers. To create numbers, where you did your bullets on your home menu, there's bullets. Next to bullets, you get numbering, all right? There's all the different numbering that you can use. 1, 2, 3 of points, 1, 2, 3 of a bracket, Roman numbers, alphabet, small alphabet, whatever the case might be. They will tell you which one to use as well if you're doing assignments. I'm just going to use the first one there. You'll see it automatically puts in the number 1 for me, puts in a space next to that so that you can type in there, all right? So I'm just going to type any information in there, test step 1. Now, as soon as you have your first one in there and you want to get your second number, all you have to do is press enter. Since you press enter, it puts in the second number for you. All right, there you can put in whatever you want there as well. Word document. All right. Every time you press enter, it will automatically put in the next number for you. All right. Okay, everybody good with that? All right. So the third one, I'm just going to leave empty. I'm not going to type anything in there, just so you can see how to get the numbering done. Let's say you've got a bulleted list like we have here on top. You decide you want it to be bullets anymore, you want it to be numbers. You can also change as well. Simply highlight it, then go to numbering, then just change it to numbering, right? I can see change it to numbering there in the background as you go over it, all right? So you can actually change it to numbering. If you don't want numbers, you can go back to bullets, change it to bullets. All right. All right, I see a hand up there. What is the question, sir?
I just wanted to ask,
Yes.
when you want to, when you're numbering and you want to, you
Yes.
don't want to start with number one, you want to start with like number two or number three. How do you do that?
All right, so you don't want your numbering to be number one.
Yeah, I don't want it
Is
to
it?
start with one. I want it to start with like number two or number three or number four.
All right, is this now for your numbering or page numbering?
No, this is for like if I want to make a list.
All right.
So like say for example, if I'm typing out a question and then I type in the answers for that question and then I want to go say now I want to reply for question number two and then I type it. How do you start with the second question, with the second number?
Yeah, look, to start with numbering at a different number, then you're going to have to do numbering on your own. So you can put in 2 and type in there and then just continue from there. That's only we can get it to start at a certain number then, all right? It will have to do a manual list. If you're doing numbering itself, it will by default start at 1, unless you built in sectional breaks, but that's also more for page numbering, okay? Just want to show you as well, under the define numbering list, you can actually click where you want this to start as well. Here you got an option as well, enter format numbering number. So you can get it to change it here as well. All right, so that is on your home menu on top at paragraph. Next, there's an option there that says multiple level lists. All right, this is more as well. We have like you've got 1, then 1.1, 1.11, and so forth as well. So you just have to play around with this and you can actually change it from here as well. But usually if you want to start at a certain number, you have to just start it manually by putting the number you want. Okay. All right. So that was now for the numbering. Let me just put my numbers back there that I took out. All right. So there's my numbering list back. All right. Okay, going forward. So this was now for your numbering as well. Another thing that you'll notice in this document as well is my sentence, the first sentence or the first line in my paragraph is starting inwards, like you can see on this one. So here's my margin, all right? But my first line is starting a bit more inwards, all right? Same for that one, starting a bit more inwards. There's what the inwards as well, all right? So they might ask you as well to change the search all your sentences like this. Now you can see this sentence isn't like that, all right? So that sentence starting right on the side is not moved inwards like this. Now, this is one thing that students try and do when they're doing the assignments if they don't know how to do this. They'll just use the space bar, and every time they press space bar, it looks, oh, now see, that looks fine, it looks like the others, but when it's now marked by the system, you won't get any more scores, so we can actually see what you did, all right? I'm just going to put an option here on my screen. This is called now your show your markers on your, all right. So you can actually see all those little dots that I've typed in there. That show that you used the space bar instead of using the option that you should have used, all right? So don't try and be smart and just use your space bar to get your text to line up, all right? You're either going to use tab settings or for sentence that's starting inwards like this, it's called indentation, all right? Indentation. So what indentation basically is, you can tell the computer, I want the first sentence of this paragraph, whatever, to move inwards a bit or to end sooner as well. So to do this, I'm just going to click there at that paragraph, which is now next to the picture there. That's when it says all the chronic stress, all right? I'm just highlighting this so you can see it. So it's that paragraph that I'm talking about, all right? So if you wanted to change, what you can do, I'm just going to click in front of the A there, all right? On your home menu, once again, where you get paragraph. Next paragraph, I'm going to open that full menu so it can get dialog box that comes up there. Now, the second option there, you'll see it says indentation. Indentation left, indentation right. So this we can actually set it to be where you want your indentation to be. All right, at the bottom, there's a little preview as well to show what it will look like. So I'm going to change mine to a set of 1.25. All right, 1.25. Now, but as soon as I do that, you'll see in the sample it moves the whole paragraph. That's not what you want to do. You only want the first sentence, the first line to be moved inwards. This now we go to your option on the right there where it says special at your indentation. At this moment it says none. If you click there, you can get first line or hanging. I want the first line to be indented. So now you simply click on first line. All right, once you've clicked on first line, I can click on OK. Now I can see that sentence is moved inwards like the rest. So it's now also moved in, all right, like the rest. So this is called indentation. The nice thing about indentation, makes your paragraph stand out easier so you can see where each new paragraph starts, all right. You'll see this a lot in newspapers and magazines as well, where the paragraphs are moved inwards like this as well. Okay, so that's called your indentation. All right. So we did the indentation now. So now my sentence also is hanging inwards like the rest. All right. I'm going to move to the bottom of my document here quickly. All right. Now I tell you to insert a table into your document. So always make sure that you're in the right place where you want to insert your table into your document as well. Now to insert the table is the easy part. Once you want to start editing the table, that's where people usually get stuck and they get into a bit of trouble. So I'm now there where I want to put in my table. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to the insert menu. On insert menu, you'll see the second option there says table, right? It says add a table. So you click on that, there you get all those little blocks. Now I can actually choose how big you want this table to be. So I can use my arrow keys to do this, or you can use your mouse and just go over to where you want it to be. All right. So you can choose what it is you want to have in there. All right. So let's say I'm going to make mine 3 columns, and I want to make it 3 rows. So I'm making it a 3 by 3 column. Once you're in your column as well, you'll see there's a new menu that comes up as well. It says table tools right on top on your menu. All right, table tools. There you get your design and layout. This is where you can do everything you want to edit your table. All right. So I'm just going to type some information into my table quickly. All right. Name, office, and telephone. All right, so let's say you want to have a list of people in your office. I'll put in the first name. My office is 02017. I'm just putting numbers in there. All right, 4713039. Right, the other one we'll put in some, we'll put that name in there, 02018. 4712121. I'm just putting numbers in there. All right, so now I've got my basic table, but now as well you can edit your table to get more information or more things that you want in there. So let's say I actually decide I want to have the person's surname in there as well. So I want to have the surname in between this as well. All right, you'll see there's a few options you can do this. First you can click in the column. All right, so I've clicked here where it says name. All right, I'm going to go to my table tools here on top. I'm going to go to layout. There you get the options. All right, it says insert above, insert below, insert left, insert right. So depending on where you've clicked, you can choose the option that you want. I've got names. So I've clicked that name. I want it to be on the right, so you can simply say on insert right, and it will automatically insert a table there as well. I'm just going to undo that. All right, so you can see. So first option, you click in anyone, go to your table tools on top where it says layout. You can insert whether it's now top, bottom, left, or right. All right. Other option you can do is you can go in between the two tables. If I hold my mouse still there, you can see there I get a little plus sign on top there with a line in between. So you can simply get that as well. Click on it. That will also insert the extra table for you. All right. So now I can put in the surnames in there. Details there, and someone put in Smith. All right, so that's how I can insert a column. If you want to insert a row, you can follow the same process. You can click wherever you want it to be. So I'm just clicking at the end. Now you can also go to your table tools. You can just say insert below or insert above. Other option you can do as well, you can simply go to the left as well. There you can see you get your little plus signs, all right, with that blue line. You can actually insert lines there as well, all right. So you can insert as you want. I'm going to insert another one there on top. So let's say I had my first one there. I'm just going to put in a heading there as well. Florida staff info, right. But now let's say this first column that I have here, all right, this first row. I want this to be my heading. So I don't want to have all these small little columns. Well, I want this Florida staff info to be the heading of my table. So I want this to be in the middle of all of these. Now, for those of you who was part of the Excel training, this is more or less the same what we did in Excel. You want to combine these little columns together, right? So you want to merge them. So all you do is simply highlight all the columns, or all the rows you want to combine, all right? Now on your table tools, it allows where you did the insertion as well. Next to this option where it says merge cells. So this is where you want to combine your cells. So I can just click on merge cells and then combines them all together for me. All right, and I can make it center line. So now instead of having 4 little columns, I now have one big column. And this can stand out then as my heading in my documents or in my table. All right. Sorry guys, you can see my battery's just low. I'm just gonna, plug it in quickly. All right, sorry about that. I forgot to plug in my laptop this morning. All right, so still ticking to the table that we have here as well. There's a whole bunch of options you can apply to your table as well. You can make each column or each row a certain height. All right, there you can see on top which says you can choose how big you want your thing to be. So let's say I want that first column to be a bit bigger because it's my heading. You can make that bigger as well. All right. Then as well, instead of having your text just in the top of your documents, all right, on your layout tools, there's a where it says alignment. You can choose you want your alignment left, center, or right, but you can also have it left, center, right in the middle or at the bottom. So for example, I click on the middle, it will be in the middle of that row, or you can have in the bottom of the row. This is also something that they might ask in your assignments, all right? So make sure that you know where to change your table alignment, all right? So another option, if you want to insert rows as well, you can simply go to the end of your paragraph. You can see I'm there next to that last telephone number there, all right? So I'm there. Now once you're there, you can just use your arrow key to go to the outside of my table. You can see my cursor is now flashing there on the outside of my table. Once I'm on the outside of my table, you can simply press enter as well, and that will insert a new row for you as well. Okay, so you can use the enter button once you're at the end of the table to insert a row as well. All right. Now you can also get your table to be highlighted or whatever. That will come under your table tools under design. Right, so there you can do shading. So under shading, you can choose what color you want that heading to be. So you can change it so that it stands out in a shade as well. And they will tell you exactly which color you must use if you're doing shading as well. Also, you can change if you don't want to have the lines in that color, whatever, you can actually change the color of the lines as well. So you can choose how thick a line you want, if you want a single line, or if you wanted a certain color as well. All right, so you can change all of this in your table as well. So you can change anything you want individually. Okay, I'm just doing that so you can get an example of what I'm talking about. All right. All right, so you can see I've changed all of that. I made that one red and that one red. After shading there, and I also have all of that highlighted there as well. Okay, so this is all of your table tools that you can work with as well. Okay. All right, so that's working with your table and inserting your table and editing it. All right, so that was now for tables. Another thing that you might get that you have to do in your assignments is you have to put in tab stops. All right, tab stops. So what are tab stops? When you're working in your documents and you want to have a certain space in between your words, all right? So let's say I want to put in there sign at, and then what most people do, they just use the underscore and they put in that line there, and then they continue to put in sign at on this date. All right, you can actually get another option that it doesn't have those underscores in them. This is called tab settings. All right, so on your keyboard you get your tab button, which is just on top of your caps lock. All right, tab. Now if you press just normal tab on your keyboard, it moves 1.37 centimeters. You can see every time I press tab, it moves that certain amount. You can see my cursor there. All right, hopefully you can see the cursor there. It moves that certain amount. But you can also set the tabs to be at certain places in your document. So if you want your tab to stop at a certain place in your document, you can do this as well. All right, I'm going to show you how to bring tab stops into your document as well. So to do that, on your home menu, you're going to go to where it says paragraph and open the full menu for paragraph settings there. All right, so there's paragraph settings. Right at the bottom, you get an option there that says tabs. You're going to click on tabs. Now, this is the first thing that you always have to do if you want to create tabs in your documents. Once you're in your tab menu, always first click on the clear all here at the bottom, which says clear all. Click on clear all so that there isn't any tabs anymore. All right. Now you can actually start the way it says tab stop position. Now you can actually choose where you want your tabs to be. So this goes according to your ruler on top there of your screen. All right. Where my mouse moving on top, the 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your measurements. All right. Let's say I want my first tab stop to be, I want it to be at 4 centimeters. So you can type in where you want it to stop. Once you did that, you can just click on set. You have to click on set, not just on OK. You have to click on set to show this now what you want to do. Now you can put in your next tab stop. You can have more tab stops, more than one. All right, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 tab stops, depending on which one. So let's say I want my next tab to be at 7.3 centimeters, for example. All right, but also instead of just having the tab, instead of just having a blank space, you can actually choose what you want it to be. You can have alignments for it, so you want it to be in the center, right, whatever. You can also choose the leaders. That is now if you want it to be blank, none, dotted lines, hashes, or a solid line at the bottom. Let's say I'm making a dotted line. All right, so I can click on the dotted line and they will give you these instructions. We're doing assignments. All right, once you did that, you say set. I can choose my next one. I want my next tab stop to be at 13 centimeters and I want it to be a solid line. I set. All right, once you set all your tabs, you'll see as you set them there, you'll see all the tab stops that you have. Once you did that, click on OK. Now, I don't know if you'll see it closely on my screen. Right on top on my ruler now, you'll see there's little markers there. All right, there's one at the 4 centimeters. There's one at the 7.2 that I've put in there, and there's also one there at the 13. This is show your tab stops where you've put them. All right, you won't see them probably clearly on this screen now, but if you work in your document, you can see them from there. So how this works? So let's say I'm going to put in the name. Now, if I press tab, you'll see it will automatically jump to that first tab stop that I had in, which was at 4 centimeters. You can see there's the 4 centimeters. So it stops exactly where I want it to stop. Now I can put in the surname. Once I press tab, now it puts in the next one. Now remember the next one I put in, I had those dotted lines that I put in. Now you can put in your next name, office. Now I'm just typing in information, just show how this will work. Now if I press tab, the next one will stop now at 13 where I've set it, and it will work with a solid line that I gave it. All right, so this is your tab stops. All right, so you can actually use tab stops to put in these little dots and lines instead of using the mouse or just the underscore button or the points, full stops on your keyboard. All right, so this is your tab stops, and this will continue for every line. So every time I press tab, it will put in those tab stops for me. Okay. So this is your tab stops. All right, your tab positions. Okay, everybody fine with that? All good? All right. Now, let's say you're typing assignment as well, and you have to work with, let's say you're doing engineering or something subject where you have to put in a certain measurement. So you want to put in there that the building is, I'm just typing information here, all right. Make it a bigger so you can see I'm typing it just on top of my table. I'm typing there. Building size is 456 square meters. All right. So we know when you're working with that, you want to say that is now square meters, but you want that to remember when you're working with square meters, that 2 usually goes on top of the M to show it's the square meters. This is now where your text editing will come into play as well. So this is now superscript or subscript, right? Superscript means will go on top. Subscript means goes at the bottom. All right. So there I've got that now as my superscript. All right. I want to make that 2 now superscript. So you highlight whatever you want to make superscript or go on top of the M. All right. On your home menu where you get font, next to your font size. All right. Underneath it, there you get the X with a 2 at the bottom or X with a 2 on top. So it's superscript or subscript. So if I click on superscript, you can see that's now where you get that symbol to show as square meters. Okay. Or for example, if you're working with a temperature, you can say today is 15 degrees Celsius. All right. So now we know that little O must go up because it's for degrees. You can click on it as well, make it superscript. There you get your 15 degrees Celsius. All right. So that's superscript and subscript. If you wanted something to be at the bottom as well, you would have just used subscript. Let's say it is test 1. I want that one to be underneath. You highlight it. Now you can just make it subscript and it goes to the bottom. All right. So that's our superscript and subscripts. Right. Everybody cool with that? Okay. Another thing that you might want to be able to use in your document is to insert page numbering. All right. That forms part of your headers and footers in your documents. So what a header and footer is, whatever you put into your header will automatically display on all of your pages unless you put in sectional breaks or title breaks. All right. So to insert that, all right, you're going to go to references. Let me just see where it is. So I've changed to new software, so I don't have the same things. All right, it's at insert. All right, under insert there you get the option where it says header, footer, and page numbering. All right. So if you just wanted page numbering, you could have done it just from it, say top of page, bottom of page, whatever you wanted. All right. But I'm going to go to my header. So once you've clicked on your header there, you get the options. What do you want to be in your header? So you want it to be 1 column, blank 3 columns. They'll give you all the options, or you can simply say edit header as well. All right. So this way you would have done your header. All right. So I'm just going to click on the blank 3 columns. Now you'll see right on top of my document here, it says type here, type here, type here. The rest of your document almost becomes faded out like gray. All right. This shows that you're working in your header, not on your document itself, because the header is totally separate from your document. So I can simply click there and I can put in my name, for example. That's when I can put in the subject code, and I can put in 1. All right. So I've typed in all of my headings in there. Now, if you want to go back to your document, there's 2 ways. You can either go to your heading, there where it says header and footer tools. All right, there's your design. You can click on close header footer. You'll see right on the right hand side, they close header footer. Or you can simply just double click anywhere in your document as well. Now you'll see it comes back to your document. Now your header gets faded out in the background, so it's not part of what you're working on now as well. So let's say I want to do the same for my footer as well. I'm going to go to insert footer. I'm going to go to blank 3 columns. So now I'm at the bottom of my page here where it says type here, type here, type here. Now I want to show you a few other options that you can use in your header and footer as well, instead of just typing in your name, whatever the case might be. In your document, there's a whole bunch of information that you can have in your document. All right. So let's say they tell you in your footer, insert the document name. All right, the file name. So in this instance, my file name, as you can see on top, this file name is called stress management. All right, or the abbreviation of management anyway. So it's stress management. Now you can simply type in their stress management, but when the assignment is marked, it won't be marked correct, which they'll tell you insert the heading into the footer by using a certain function. All right. This usually comes to your quick parts. So right on top here, when you're on your heading footer, you'll see there's a new menu here as well. Design with all the options there. I'm going to show you a few options that you can use here as well. When you go to the option says quick parts, all right, they'll tell you insert the file name into the document using the field function. So that's under quick parts, they get field. You'll see field there, all right. So I'm going to click on field. And here's all the different options that you can have in your document. Now they told you they want a file name. So this is now alphabetical. So I'll go down. There you'll see they get file name. Once you've clicked on file name as well, you'll now get the option of choosing. Do you want it to be uppercase, lowercase, whatever the case might be. They will tell you if you need to change this as well. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm just going to click on OK. Now I can actually see that it puts in the file name there for me, stress management. All right. So if I click on it once, it highlights the entire thing because this is a field that's inserted, not words that you typed in yourself. All right. When I click on the next type here, all right, let's say I want to insert the page number now. You can do it the same way as well. You're going to go to quick parts, field, and then you're going to go to, I want page, all right. So you want a page number, so you click on page. Once again, you can choose how you want this to be numbered. Do you want number 1, number 2, ABCs, Roman numbers, whatever the case might be, okay. So I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to choose anyone. I'm just going to click on OK. And it puts in the page number for me. This is now page 2. All right. If I go to page 1, you can see there's actually page 1 as well. So it did it there as well. But let's say they want you to put in this is page 1 of how many pages in your document as well. So after I put in that first one, I'm going to type in page 1 of. Go to my quick parts again, field. Now I'm going to go to num pages. All right. NUM, num pages for number of pages. So this will tell you how many pages you have in your document. All right. So even if you put it in now, there's only 2 pages and you continue working. As you add more pages, it will automatically update it for you as well. You don't have to go and change it afterwards. So I can just click on num pages, put that in as well. And there's page 1 of 2. As you will go down to tell you page 2 of 2. If you have more pages, it will tell you page 2 or 3, 2 or 5, or whatever the case might be. All right. Going to the last option there as well. Let's say they tell you you must insert the date and time into the footer of your document as well. All right. So on the bottom of my page in the footer, on my footer menu there, heading footer tools, there it says date and time. You can use this option from you. So you click on date and time, and you can choose whichever date and time you wanted. All right. So I'll click on, let's say I'm going to choose that one. Now they might also tell you when you insert your date and time to make sure that it updates automatically. Then once you're on this menu, you'll see at the bottom there on the right hand side, it says update automatically. So you click on update automatically. It's there. Now you can simply click on OK and it puts in the date and time for you. All right. So that's how you can use your head and footer and using your quick parts using that field function. It's important to know how to use this field function. I have gotten this before in assignments. All right. So this is using the field function to insert information into your document. Once I'm done with my footer, I just click away and all the information will be in all of my footers as well. All right. Okay. Any questions from anybody? All right, don't see any hands yet. All right, so whenever you're working in Word, the most important thing is always to make sure you're at the right place where you want to put in the information or where you want to number, where you want to insert pictures as well. All right, then to use your text effects and also your styling that they might ask you to use. All right, so that was basically all the things that I wanted to show you for today for word processing. Unless there's any questions from anybody, I think this will then be the end of the session as well. Once again, guys, remember I will post this information on the website as well under the videos there. All right, all the previous Excel videos that we did is on the website as well. So it's that website there. Make sure you can just get all the videos there. All right. So if you want to go through the Chrome again, if you're busy with your sound, whatever, you can just go to that website as well. All right. I'll quickly wait if anybody wants to ask a question. No questions from anybody. Okay, thank you guys. That was it for today then. On Friday, I'm having a session for PowerPoint where I'll show you how to do animations on PowerPoint as well, and how to do the different layouts in PowerPoint as well. All right. So for today, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next session. Bye-bye.